Okay, I'm going to talk about Lily's hair. And then I'm going to talk about a whole lot of other things. And then I'm going to circle back around to Lily's hair to make a bigger point, because this isn't really about the kids. This is about Meghan. It's not going to be pretty. But Lily's hair, that strawberry blonde, I can go ahead and tell you, there will be some sarcastic moments in this video. This is not one of them. Lily's hair really is so beautiful. And not only is she a beautiful little girl, I believe all children are precious. And for fans of the royal family, we were so excited when these babies were born. And of course, we want to see more of them. I do respect Meghan's decision to keep their children's image, their pictures out of the media for their safety, for whatever reason, for future commodification. I don't know. Nevertheless, I have lots and lots of questions. No one believes the 2-hour-long labor, birth, delivery, get high, and go home story. After that odd and very questionable geriatric pregnancy, I do believe Meghan is a narcissist. And because of that, I don't believe she would have even considered not having a legitimate heir wherever he was in the line of succession. And I can't imagine Meghan not having a biological grandchild of Princess Diana's. He looks exactly like you would expect a biological child of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to look. He has the reddish brown, textured, wavy, even curly hair. And he really is so adorable. If we ever get to see his actual face, I'm sure he's going to be even more adorable. Now, the laws in the UK and the US are so different when it comes to surrogacy and birth certificates. They're about as different as Princess Lily's hair is from Prince Archie's. In the UK, when a baby is born, the hospital will issue a birth notification, I believe it's called. And that's where a doctor or a midwife would sign. And then that is taken to a register office. And then they would apply for a birth certificate. When it comes to a royal birth, yes, we're used to so many people signing off on that. And by the way, whether they used a surrogate, you know what? I don't care. That is not even where I'm going with this. Archie was born in the UK under these mysterious circumstances. And maybe, just maybe, it's because Meghan had to have a biological child born in the UK, but she had to use a surrogate, but she didn't want anyone to know. So it all had to be undercover to make it look like she had given birth, which would explain why she turned down the offer from the royal family for the best prenatal care she could have possibly had. And maybe she did give birth to Archie, but if she did, she went out of her way to make sure there were so many questions surrounding his birth that I have plenty of reason to question that. So does everybody else. That's why I and everybody else have been asking all these questions. But Princess Lily was born in the US, where if Meghan had used a surrogate, there would be no record of that. And that goes for any surrogate birth. I'm not suggesting that they circumvented the system. In the States, the intended mother is always listed as the mother on the birth certificate. So using not only a surrogate, but a donor egg, if that's what happened, it would have been much easier to pull that off in California as opposed to the UK, I would think. For narcissists, children are not autonomous. No one in their circle is, but especially not their children. Look at this picture. This is Meghan's natural hair. And then look at this picture. This is Harry's natural hair. Harry has a unique set of traits that make up his hair color and the texture. So not only is it this fiery red, which I love, he calls himself a ginger as if it's an insult. Harry, that's not an insult. That's something Meghan has talked about and pecked on and made you think that it's a bad thing and you should feel insecure about it. The next time she mentions your hair, tell her to go deal with her own insecurities because you are a prince of the realm. And red hair has flowed down through the royal bloodline since Henry VIII with his fiery red hair. It's not even about, do you know who I am? Or do you know who my father is? Do you know who my 20th great uncle is? It was Henry VIII. And by the way, he was born a spare. That's what you should say to her. That's what you should have said to her a long time ago. And stop worrying about losing your hair. So did your grandfather. So did your father. So did your brother. Did Meghan make comments to them about that? No, because it's not a problem for her. It's just something she uses to keep you feeling insecure. So find your way back to who you were pre-Meghan. Because pre-Meghan, you were happy and you didn't care anything about your hair because nobody else had a problem with it. Nobody else has a problem problem with it now. I can't prove this, but I believe Meghan hates her hair. Our family is multiracial, and my children have different types of hair, different colors, different textures. They're all beautiful. They're all wild. I know what goes into keeping curly hair straight. If someone with curly hair decides they're going to have straight hair, even for just a little while. My daughter either spends a lot of time straightening her hair, or she pays someone a lot of money to do that. If she decides she wants to have straight hair, she goes back and forth with it, but not Meghan. This is Meghan's God-given hair, and the work that goes into keeping this hair straight all the time, it's a lot of time and it's a lot of damage. I don't believe she keeps it straight so that she doesn't have to deal with her curls frizzing up. I think it's much more complicated than that. And speaking of hair types, Prince Harry's hair type, it's not straight, but it's not curly. Meghan had to have known that she and Harry would almost certainly not produce a child with straight hair. If she had a recessive gene that would have allowed for that, possibly, but so many things would have had to align. You know how people say, what a coincidence. Oh, that is such a coincidence. You never hear anyone saying, what a large set of coincidences. When you have so many things happen that are so unlikely, then people start saying, what's going on here? Let's look into this further. And so here I'll say it. I think Meghan split the difference. I don't know if Meghan used a surrogate. I don't care, but I do believe she wanted 2 children. I believe she wanted a legitimate biological male who would be in the line of succession. And I believe she wanted her little blue-eyed, almost blonde hair, but not really, miniature Princess Diana. Creepy? Yes, but Meghan is creepy. I find Meghan creepy. So yeah, after Lily was born, I thought, let me just think about this for a bit. I have no idea if this is what happened. I can only say these are theories. We've become emotionally invested in them. So just the thought that these children may never get to meet an entire side of their family is a sad one. And as for my theory about these 2 pregnancies, I'm wondering if other people think the same thing, because does it really sound that out there? Am I crazy or am I perfectly sane? That's what I'm wondering. I don't think I'm crazy. Knowing how narcissists are and how they think, I think it's right on the money. Let me know what you think. And thank you for spending a little of your time with me today as we rode on this little crazy train. We've now pulled back into the station. Until next time, take care.